Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about efforts at the state capitol to open up carpool lanes on some freeways in Southern California, open up those carpool lanes to single occupancy vehicles. My guest this segment is Mike Gatto, member of the State Assembly, representing Burbank, Glendale, East Hollywood.
Correct.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Great to be here, Steve.
So I guess we ought to talk about the problem that anybody who's watching this, I'm sure, is aware of, the frustration that individuals have maybe at 10 at night or at noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the off-peak hours. They're driving down their favorite freeway, and it should be moving smoothly, but maybe an accident or whatever clogs everything up except for the carpool lanes.
Correct. Well, I think it's happened to everybody watching. You're driving down the freeway at midnight, or you're driving down the freeway at midday, and there's a mystery slowing in the rightmost lanes, or there might be an accident or something going on, and it causes all those lanes to grind to a halt, except for the carpool lane. And then those drivers can't access the carpool lane, of course, because it's got a double yellow stripe, and of course, because they're single occupancy vehicles. That's not the case in Northern California. In Northern California, the most carpool lanes are flex carpool lanes, and drivers in those instances are allowed to go into the carpool lanes during off-peak hours.
Yeah, usually it's like 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or something like that in the afternoon and then morning during the commute.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of the carpool lane was to incentivize drivers to carpool during the traditional commute rush hours, so to speak. Right. They definitely were not intended to take a lane out of use at midnight that could otherwise be put to good use and cause traffic to pile up, and which would cause more pollutants to go into the air during those hours. So this bill, my AB 405, which people watching will notice, was named intentionally after
San Diego Freeway.
That's right, after the most congested freeway in Southern California. Would simply allow flexible use of Southern California's carpool lanes during non-peak hours.
That's interesting. Now, this is a pilot.
Correct.
And so it only affects a few of the freeways for a few miles, correct?
Correct. So this pilot project done by Caltrans that would be mandated by the bill would affect the 134, the 210, sections of the 5, plus the 57 and a few other freeways in Southern California.
And these are obviously very heavily traveled freeways.
Heavily traveled freeways, and there's so many people who have contacted me and said, Mike, this happens to me all the time. My schedule's not traditional. I work a job that isn't 9 to 5. I get on the freeway at 12 noon and an accident will take all the lanes out of commission, and the police will not have been putting up cones saying go in the carpool lane. There'll be just 2 lanes moving, and we really need that flexibility to use that lane during non-peak hours. You
mentioned this is a pilot, which usually when there's a pilot program, that means there will be evaluation by Caltrans. Yeah. What are they evaluating?
Well, they'll be evaluating, if this improves traffic flow, which I think it will. Another thing they'll be looking at is safety. We have been told by a number of people, including some people in the transportation industry, that this will dramatically improve safety. And the reason why is because if you think about people who get into carpool lanes, well, this will require restriping. To allow a lane to be a flex lane, it will make that lane will have to be changed from the double yellow to the single dotted white. So what that means is there will be no more dashing across a carpool lane by those people who forget that they have to exit, or people who are just upset that they've been in the carpool lane behind someone driving 55 for too long.
Your bill made it out at the first committee, Assembly Transportation, but I was noticing in the legislative analysis that the Sierra Club was opposed, and I guess it's because this would disincentivize folks to share rides. Yeah, they think. Right?
Although, I'm a very, very staunch environmentalist. I had a lot of support from environmentalists when I ran for office. I'm a member of the Sierra Club. I think it's a light oppose, at least I hope it is. I think the Sierra Club would agree with my assessment that carpool lanes were never intended to stop traffic. They're intended to incentivize carpooling, but at midnight, when these lanes are bunched up, or at midday, it's not incentivizing it if we're not using that lane well.
All right. Well, Mike Gatto, thanks very much for coming by and talking about this really very interesting and important bill. We appreciate it. And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on My Government On Demand, also on YouTube. I'm Steve Swatt. Have a great day.